Afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? So I'm just looking up since the COVID pandemic and state of Virginia budget shortfalls and what they wanted to spend, they have deferred to federal regulations on industrial hemp. Interesting, huh? So, $150 for a hemp grower license. Pretty reasonable, I would say. But you still have to worry about government oversight. If your crop has a total of 0.3% THC, guess what? You're not in compliance. You lose it. And I don't even think crop insurance will pay for that. So, what does that mean? The state, instead of protecting its farmers, have allowed the federal government to come in and decide who can and can't raise it or how it's raised. Interesting. But there we are. So what we need to do is legalize it. That way you don't have to worry about that THC stuff. End of story. Hemp products, all of it will be considered under one blanket. It's ridiculous that we have state legislators that will not drive the extra 2 hours, 3 hours from Richmond and go to Washington and try to sit down with the state elected senators and congressmen. Oh no, I won't go talk to him. He's a Democrat. I'm a Republican. Whatever. Go sit down. Let's get some legislation that's going to help us guys, help the farmers. I'm not raising hemp right now. I mean, I thought about it, but it ain't for me. It's for the other people I see raising hemp, right? There's a lot of farmers out there that want to do it, but now they're at the will of the government to do it, right? Once that happens, now we're on the USDA program, the biggest destructors of farms in the United States of America. Yep, I said it. And they have done more to hurt farms than they've ever helped them. They call themselves, the farm bailouts are really ridiculous because you're essentially paying farmers not to raise crops. Or you're paying farmers because of crop losses due to bull BS trade agreements and trade wars and all that. How about let we get the USDA out of our business, okay? And you just go to farming. Just farm like you want to do. Farm whatever you want to farm. It's none of the government's business what you do. That's my 2 cents about it. So we need to push hard about getting rid of all these regulations on the hemp farms. All of it. I mean, so this is what trips me out and it's funny and sad. So, and rather than raise marijuana in the United States legally, where everybody can grow it, and flood the market with marijuana all over the United States of America, they'll allow the Mexicans to raise the stuff. They'll allow other countries to raise it and smuggle it into the United States and sell it. Guess what? As a farmer, you should be appalled about that. Raise it. Guess what? You put them out of business. Because who the heck wants to buy cheap Mexican pot and deal with not knowing where it came from or anything, right? When you can raise it right here in Virginia, Southside Virginia marijuana. Oh my God, he's talking about being a dope head. That's what I hear the conservatives say. I can tell you what. I will take a hair sample or any kind of drug test any one of them wants to prove that I ain't smoking weed or nothing. It's not about me. It's not about protecting people that smoke pot, although I don't think anybody should be in prison for smoking weed, whatever. It's about giving the farmers another outlet. It's about generating revenue in the Commonwealth. It's about making pot legal to generate that revenue in the Commonwealth. So guess what? Then we can get rid of motor vehicle taxes in Virginia. People have promised to do this for years. You elected a governor that promised to do this, never did. That's fine. That's because they didn't have a plan. I got a plan. Legalize marijuana, get rid of the motor vehicle tax, all the personal property tax on motor vehicles throughout the Commonwealth, and you're going to see the money roll in. Trust me. Colorado did it. Washington State did. Other states that have legalized marijuana have got budget surpluses and all kinds of revenue coming in. Let's just get it over with, folks. Get it over with. It's costing the taxpayer. It's costing you, the taxpayer, millions of dollars a year to put thousands of people in jail for smoking weed. Let's just think about it. It costs $50,000 to $80,000 to house a prisoner. Health care, food, TV, whatever they need, whatever. For pot or pot-related stuff. Drug trafficking charges for pot. Guess what? Get rid of it. Just get rid of it. It's going to help us at all in the end. Cheaper taxes, guess what? Tell you what. It helps the police. I tell you why it helps the police. They got resources. They fly around in helicopters they borrow from the National Guard. They got resources. The drug resources are going there messing with pot fields, cutting them down, whatever, when they catch them. Guess what? That goes out of the equation. Now they can go after meth labs and stuff like that, the real hardcore stuff. They ain't going to devote half their resources on catching people smoking pot. I'm sure they're okay with that. Drug dogs. Drug dog costs $15,000. Mecklenburg County got a $15,000 drug dog. Guess what? Pot. A lot of that dog gets, they'll go somewhere and they'll catch 4 or 5 cars or whatever with pot, right? Guess what? We don't need that. Why worry about it? Focus on more hardcore drugs if you want to. And you're right, Tabby. Chronic illnesses, right? Wouldn't you agree with everything that's come out, everybody, about opioids and the addiction and the addictive properties of opioids? Guess what? Marijuana does a lot of the same things. It does, and it's proven not to be an addictive drug. It can be habit forming like cigarettes or something like that, but it's not addictive in the sense where you become chemically dependent on it, right? No, it's not. Not to mention, legalize marijuana, you have edibles for people. It is shown to help people with seizures. It's chronic headache, migraines. It's done a lot of good stuff. Yes, some people abuse it, but guess what? People abuse alcohol, and we sell a boatload of that in Virginia. So, people are still going to do it. Guess what? Let's not worry about it. Let's stop devoting resources trying to catch people doing it. Let's make some revenue off of it. I know some of the libertarians were like, oh, yeah. Well, guess what, folks? Sorry. We as libertarians agree to eliminate all of it. But we also are trying here to reach across the aisle to both parties, the old parties, right? We're not going to do it just by standing on libertarian-only platforms. We've got to make libertarian attractive to people that don't know about libertarianism. This is how. Yes, taxing marijuana is more tax, but it's a voluntary tax. Because if I don't want to smoke marijuana, you don't want to smoke marijuana, you're not paying that tax. Automobile tax is 100% involuntary. They make you pay it just to get tags and everything else. So you have no choice. At least for marijuana, taxed, you can, you got a choice. As it is now, we got a bunch of federal legislation to try to work on, and the Republicans don't want to help. We're going to have to team with the Democrats on it. So essentially, if you get caught smoking pot, even in a legal state, or you have a medical marijuana card, you technically forfeit your right to own a firearm. That's bullshit. Sorry about the language, folks, but it's BS. And nobody should be able to take anybody's guns or anything else because they smoke pot. That would be saying, well, if you drink alcohol, you can't own a gun, which 99.999% of the gun owners, that would automatically make them ineligible, right? Not to mention, I want you all to think about something, about laws and law and order and all this good stuff. If you smoke pot and you own guns and you haven't said anything, you're technically a felon. If you were to get caught, the minute you get caught, you're a felon. I want you to all think about that, because that means the government system has made you felons when you never committed a felony. You copy me on that? All right, folks, I may do one later. I'm going to be driving this evening, so if I get bored, I'm going to do one. But love y'all. Please share it. Please share my YouTube. We'll talk more about it. Any questions, hit me up. Have a good day. If I don't do another one before the weekend for some reason, you be safe out there. If you drink, don't drive, please. You know what? Your life and whoever else's life on the road is more important than getting in that car with a drink. Thank you, and talk to you later.